The Osage Indian murders cast a long shadow over the Roaring Twenties. The Osage Nation, once nomadic buffalo hunters, had been forcibly relocated to a rocky, seemingly barren reservation in Oklahoma. Little did the US government know that beneath the prairie lay a vast ocean of oil. By the 1920s, the Osage had become the wealthiest people per capita on Earth. Each member of the tribe possessed a headright, a share of the oil revenue, making them the envy of many, especially their white neighbors. The discovery of oil brought prosperity, but it also brought danger. As the Osage wealth grew, so too did the greed of those around them. A wave of mysterious deaths, disappearances, and suspicious accidents began to plague the Osage community. The victims were often found dead under strange circumstances, their deaths attributed to vague causes like accidents or natural causes. Whispers of poisonings and shootings spread through the community, but fear kept many silent. The local authorities seemed either unable or unwilling to find the culprits. The Osage people, their trust shattered, lived in fear, knowing that death could lurk around any corner. The period became known as the Reign of Terror, a time when the promise of wealth was overshadowed by the threat of violence. The murders exposed the dark underbelly of the American dream, revealing how greed, racism, and corruption could poison even the most prosperous of communities. At the center of this sinister web was William Hale, a ruthless rancher who had risen to become one of the most powerful men in Osage County. Hale, known for his charisma and cunning, saw the Osage wealth as his for the taking. He orchestrated a chilling plan to acquire the Osage headrights through marriage and murder. His weapon of choice, his nephew Ernest Burkhart. Ernest, a quiet and unassuming young man, was easily manipulated by his domineering uncle. Hale saw in Ernest a pawn, a means to infiltrate the Osage community and get his hands on their oil money. Under Hale's influence, Ernest began courting Molly Kyle, an Osage woman from a wealthy family. Molly, unaware of the sinister plot unfolding around her, fell in love with Ernest, sealing her fate and that of her family. The marriage of Ernest and Molly was not a union of love, but a calculated move in Hale's macabre game. With Ernest as his pawn, Hale began to systematically eliminate members of Molly's family, each death bringing him closer to his goal of controlling their headrights. Ernest, torn between his loyalty to his uncle and his growing love for Molly, became increasingly entangled in the web of deceit and murder. The killings began with Anna Brown, Molly's sister, found dead in 1921. Her death, ruled as a result of alcohol poisoning, raised suspicion but lacked sufficient evidence for an arrest. Then, tragedy struck again when Lizzie Q. Kyle, Molly's mother, died under mysterious circumstances, likely from poisoning. The bodies continued to pile up, each death more gruesome than the last. In 1923, Henry Roan, Molly's cousin, was found shot to death. Later that same year, Rita Smith, another of Molly's sisters, along with her husband Bill and their housekeeper Nettie Brooks, were killed in a horrific bombing that ripped apart their home. The explosion, meant to look like an accident, shook the Osage community to its core, but it also ignited a firestorm of outrage and demands for justice. Molly herself was not immune to the deadly plot. She fell ill, suffering from a mysterious ailment that ravaged her body. It became increasingly clear that she, too, was being poisoned, likely by Ernest under his uncle's orders. Whether Ernest knowingly participated in poisoning his wife remains a subject of debate, but his actions, or lack thereof, made him complicit in the horrific scheme. As the body count mounted, the Osage people, desperate for justice, turned to the newly formed Federal Bureau of Investigation. The case, fraught with dead ends and hampered by local corruption, landed on the desk of a young and ambitious J. Edgar Hoover. Hoover, eager to prove the FBI's worth, assigned Tom White, a former Texas Ranger known for his tenacity and unconventional methods, to lead the investigation. White, understanding the depth of fear and distrust within the Osage community, went undercover, posing as an insurance salesman. He slowly gained the trust of some Osage families, gathering crucial information and piecing together the puzzle of the murders. His investigation, aided by forensic advancements and undercover agents, eventually led back to William Hale, the mastermind behind the Reign of Terror. Under intense pressure, Ernest Burkhart cracked, confessing to his role in the conspiracy and implicating his uncle. The trial that followed captivated the nation. Hale, along with his accomplices, including the corrupt local lawman John Ramsey, were convicted. Hale, the puppet master who orchestrated the murders from the shadows, was sentenced to life in prison. Ernest, despite his complicity, was spared the death penalty due to his testimony against his uncle. He was sentenced to life in prison but was paroled in 1959. His release and later pardon in 1966 sparked outrage among the Osage people, many of whom believed he had gotten away with murder. Ernest Burkhart lived out his days haunted by his past, a stark reminder of how greed and betrayal can poison even the closest of bonds.